I don't know about the political theme. I would say there's a constant theme of being true to yourself, and that's what the show is about, and that's what's true for every character, and whether they're good or they're evil and scheming, it's honestly everybody being a little true to who they are, and Betty is really the person that inspires everybody to embrace themselves. So
I think we have had that a little bit. I think there was times when Ignacio was fighting immigration, and we sort of dealt with that, and also dealing with healthcare and also even single motherhood. So there is that sprinkled in the show, but I don't think it's something that they're sort of spoon-fed or hammered over your head. I think it's something that sort of working class families are really well represented by the Suarez. They do a wonderful job of sort of showing what that everyday existence is like.
Also, there's a compare and contrast with the more affluent family, which is an interesting component of the show. You see the dysfunction that occurs with people with a lot of money, and the dysfunction that happens with people with not so much money. And it's all kind of fodder for comedy, and I think it's
well, yeah, one of the things that I think is really that I love the show is that it doesn't wear that agenda on its sleeve. It allows the audience to come to those conclusions on their own while presenting all this sort of melange of working class versus upper class New York and so on. Sorry. But as I said, it doesn't do it in a didactic way, and I think that's one of the big strengths of the show.
How do you, when you're directing and writing, how do you sort of decide we're going to do this much with the Suarez family, this much at Mode? Do you sort of have a formula with the episodes?
It just depends on the story we're telling each week. I mean, it's easier to get sucked into a work story, so we really want to try and make an effort to always keep the family alive, because that's the heart of the show. So we try and find the balance. Some of them are a little heavier work, some of them are a little heavier home, but the ideal episode has a lot of each. So it is one that where the elements are all integrated. The characters are really integrated into one another's lives.
I think we try and really push too. What's been great about coming to New York is we wanted, now that we are in New York to become, it's a character. There's this great wallpaper behind Betty and all our characters. So, we really thought about, when we got here, we want to be outside too. So we really pushed the writers, like, we can go outside, we can do this, we can, let's be out in City Hall Park, let's be at, we just shot something at Citi Field. So, Betty against this backdrop is, these gray buildings and this colorful, outfit is just so beautiful, because you just don't really quite see that all the time in shows that are shot in New York. And we try and shoot low angle, so we see the buildings, we see the architecture, we really try and follow this graphic look. And I think what that does is sort of grounds our show in a little bit of reality, so we can have a little bit of heightened humor and all those kind of things, because it is taking place in a real place. It's no longer in green screen or a little sliver of the street in Los Angeles. So it's really helped us open up the show.
And obviously Daniel and Wilhelmina were on a real bus when they were having a real bus.
We never expressed it, we expressed it a little bit, but I think that all the actors would testify to the fact that it's added a dimension to our acting. The fact that we live and breathe and interact in New York, and then we go into the set, and we're New Yorkers, and just as opposed to being in LA and pretending you're in New York. It's just like there's this like weird kind of schizo thing that happens there that doesn't happen here. You're reading the New York Post on the way in.
Yeah.
It's like or the other rag, whatever that thing is.
There's your political agenda.
But I mean, it's just great, I think, being part of the city.